Hi, I'm Phil Constantine, and this is Travels with Phil. And today we are going to take a trip to, well, Boston, Massachusetts, capital of the state of Massachusetts, one of the oldest cities in the United States. And we're going to go visit the Boston Commons, Boston Skyline, British Soldiers, Copp's Hill Cemetery, the Granary Cemetery, the Irish Famine Memorial, the Old South Meeting Hall, and Faneuil Hall. And this is what Boston looks like. Lots of famous spots there. This is what it looks like from the International Space Station. All right, looking around, let's take a look at the Boston Commons. That's the big common park, Central Park, if you wish, there in Boston. Lots of monuments here, open spaces for people to play. That's the Boston Massacre Monument there. You can see the State House, the Capitol from the other end, and that's the Shaw Memorial.
Right around here, this is the Boston Commons, and this is we saw this earlier when I went to St. Gaudens home, but this is the original version for Glory, or the Shaw Memorial, Robert Gould Shaw. This is where it's actually located, right here over the the gardens, which is right there behind me. All right, from Boston, Travel with Phil.
And again, there's the State Hall, and Pope gave a lecture, came through here at one point. Looking around, that's the very nice carousel in the Commons. And we're looking here at the spot where you can get out in the little boats, and it's the, I can't remember if they call it the duck pond or not. They're coming to mind. Here's a video.
All right, Boston Commons, a real one-man band.
And I enjoyed that. All right, lots of buildings out there, lots of interesting sights to see as you go around. Parts of it are surrounded by a big fence, a wrought iron fence. Thought that was an interesting looking light bulb that was out there. Street lamp, I guess is a better name for it. And there are tours all over Boston for all kinds of things. I took several of them. Let's take a look at some of the Boston skyline, and this will include both from the ground and from the harbor cruise out there. It's got some interesting pictures. Here are some of the videos I got from the harbor cruise.
North End, this neighborhood we are looking at across the way on our starboard side. So the North End is the Italian district or neighborhood here in Boston, and generations of Italian families have lived here since the 1800s. That clock tower is the only skyscraper you would recognize, so this is to give you an idea of how young the skyline is. But this clock tower is often referred to as the four-faced liar. And that is because there is a clock on all four sides. However, no two clocks tell the same time, and all four clocks tell the wrong time. And that is due to the high wind speeds and wind tunnels that gets stuck in between there, that clock tower.
There's the TD Gardens, Boston Bruins, the big bridge with the fancy design, Charlestown Bridge here, part of the Boston Harbor, Charlestown, right over there in the distance. That's the monument for Bunker Hill.
And lots more pictures of the downtown, the various buildings out there. That's an interesting design, an open spot on the bottom. And I like the support structures there for that building. There's that four-faced clock that didn't tell the truth. All righty, you'd think somebody would eventually figure out how to make the clock work, or all of them at the same time. This is the hockey arena out there. And lots and lots of old buildings, different stuff here, old buildings that are now serving new purposes. So you can see lots of different things here in Boston. Segway tours, and I thought that was interesting. And lots of historical stuff. That's some interesting public artwork. So let's take a look at some British soldiers. You can see them around the town, reenactors of a sort. This was just outside of a tea shop. Where else would you expect to see a bunch of British soldiers but outside of a tea shop? Here's some video of the British drill.
King! God save the king! Your general orders! To secure the keys to the townhouse, to keep the peace, and to enforce the taxes on the rebellious people of Boston, sir. God save the king! Very well. Commence the exchange. Good ass firelock. Shield that firelock.
Old State House.
Relieving guard, left base. Exchange firelock.
don't know if these are volunteers or if they're paid. And while it's not perfect, they do a very good job.
Shoulder fire lock. Exchange fire lock. Relieving guard right face. Preset fire lock. Set down off. Recover fire lock. Order fire lock. Fix bayonets. Charge bayonets.
That's where the crowd moved away.
Recover bayonets.
Yeah, that kind of thing led to the Boston Massacre. All right, here's Copp's Hill Cemetery. Lots of famous folks here. The Mathers, Cotton Mathers, Increase Mather. These are some of the folks that are buried here. They have lots of different old cemeteries here. Obviously, it's an old town. But you would expect an old town to have old cemeteries. You know, I'm living in San Diego now, and I think there's might be some 1700s in a couple of spots, but not many. And several African Americans buried here. Then the granary, I'm not sure how this is pronounced. This is more famous folks that are buried, and this is more toward downtown central part. Paul Revere, Ben Franklin's parents, several Adamses. There, this is Paul Revere's sign for it, and then that's his actual grave there, Paul Revere. And then we have John Hancock.
Travels with Phil continues at the old Greenery Burial Ground. Well, just like his signature on the Constitution was the biggest one, for Declaration of Independence, his marker here at the graveyard is also the biggest one. That is John Hancock. This memorial erected Commonwealth of Massachusetts to mark the grave of John Hancock.
And then this is the Franklins. These are Benjamin Franklin's parents. And as with any of these things, you can pause the video or you can go to my website. You can see the links down below and look at the individual pictures that I took. I've taken, literally 60,000 photos on this particular trip. Not that many in Boston, of course, but lots of old, very thin headstones. I was surprised by how thin some of these headstones were, and they're still standing. It looks like they're all the original ones. There may have been some repair work and may have had something replaced, but most of this stuff, as you can see there, just looks very worn. And some interesting folks, Robert Payne and Samuel Adams.
Travels with Phil continues again in the old Granary Burial Ground. This is Sam Adams right here. He was a signer of the Declaration, governor of the Commonwealth, leader of men, and an ardent patriot, born 1722 I should say. At 1803, now across the street is the Beantown Pub. The tour driver says, this is one of the few spots where you could sit over there in the pub with a cold Sam Adams, look across the street and see a cold Sam Adams. And he wondered why nobody laughed.
All right, that's my kind of humor. All right, the Irish Famine Memorial. A lot of Irish folks here in Boston, and so they have a special spot here set up to commemorate all the people from Ireland that died during the famine, all the folks who came. Well, actually, it was diaspora. They went all over the world, but a lot of them came to the United States because of the potato famine. And basically what happened was there was basically very few strains of potatoes, and a virus of some sort came into the potatoes and pretty well wiped out almost all the food supplies in the entire country. So that led to some real problems. So an interesting series of monuments there. All right, the Old South Meeting House. Boston has lots of meetings places. And Faneuil Hall, this place, bunches of other ones, and they were all used for various purposes. At one point, this one was used as, there was no insides to it. They used it as a writing school, so they're multi-purposing. And it looks like a church. It was partially demolished during some structural problems, but it has been rebuilt. But they tried to make it look like it was originally, at least when it was used as a meeting hall. And the Boston Tea Party was planned here. So, all kinds of different historical events have happened here, and believe me, they have lots and lots of signs around the town that will direct you to all these places. You can find all kinds of tours, all kinds of free brochures are available to you, and obviously you can look online and do lots and lots of research to find out what's where, and if you have a specific spot that you'd like to see of some historical importance to you, that's a good way to do the research before you go there. But that's Sacco and Vanzetti. All right, the Faneuil Hall, another one of the meeting halls here. This one has a market downstairs, but a very large meeting hall on the second floor, and there's a couple of other floors up there that are not open to the public. And it was just given. Peter, decided the city should have this. They voted on it and decided to accept it. That's what it looked like back in 1830, I believe it is. And this is inside. There's just this enormous picture. I'm going to have some more on the picture later on. And some clocks up in the balcony area. Here's the video I shot back in 2016.
All right, I'm in Faneuil Hall. It's a very, very large picture. You can see by the people underneath it here. Faneuil Hall. Move up here a little bit. Show you the expansion. 1742 on the left, original, and 1806 later. That's the correct name.
You can tell voices carry very well.
Another one of the main sites here in Boston. This is operated now by the National Park Service. This is the main hall, main meeting room. Downstairs they have all kinds of stores and shops and things. Upstairs there's a couple other floors that people can't access. Faneuil Hall, however it is you want to pronounce it, travels with Phil's will continue.
As you should know by now, I don't know how to pronounce things. All right, and this is a painting that showed all kinds of famous people that may or may not have been here all at the same time. And there are just so many places you can't see them all. And this is just some of the places. I have other videos to look at specific spots here in Boston. But this has just been the grasshopper on top of the Faneuil Hall. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up by clicking on the button below. You're welcome to leave comments below as long as the language is family friendly. And finally, if you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel by clicking the button over on the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you again for watching.